If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in a Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch, indeed.
And a child shall lead them.
All right, dear listener. Oh, you're rocking a Vin and Sori shirt.
Yeah, but this one was the pale design. We don't even sell this.
We don't even sell it anymore.
We don't even sell this.
We got to a giant jihad with Teespring over that, didn't we? Like,
We
this
did.
is terrible quality.
This is bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up on our list is Symphony X. The name of the song is Awakenings.
Holy shizzle!
Actually, sounds like it would be.
Vin, I was watching you 3 or 4 years ago, and you were saying that God has a plan for people having kids. I was so sad because we couldn't have any kids, and now after all this time, my wife is pregnant. Gang, gang! I told you, bitch. Do we have one season shit? Did we do one season?
No, we don't. But send us an email, vinsori@gmail.com. We'll figure something out.
Send us an email, vinsori@gmail.com. We will get something for your little baby. All right.
Okay, you guys.
Bless God.
That's
literally,
awesome.
Literally. Okay, guys, here we go. Next song
Symphony
is
X.
Symphony X-Awakenings. I think this is another prog band, I believe.
Looks like the Wackator's into Prague.
Yes. Shout out to the big homie, the Wackator, who is currently the DJ. If you wanted to know why the DJ stream is so early for Vin and Sori time, it's because the DJ determines damn near everything for a DJ stream. That's what happens when you're a DJ, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing we can do about it. Here we go. Symphony X-Awakenings. Let's go. Bass line. I think that's the bass.
Yet everything and nothing has changed. Awake alive, my thoughts get lost up in the sky. Needless to say, nothing will change. Maybe a mystic with fortunes to tell. Surrender my coin at the old wishing well. Maybe the stars will align in the night to show me the path that is right.
That's unexpected.
Let's go!
Wow.
Okay. That was Symphony X. The name of that song was Awakenings from the record Odyssey, which I am assuming is about Homers Odyssey.
Oh, okay.
From the Big Homie Odyssey. Huh?
I sent you 2 things.
Okay.
That's one.
All right.
Well, I didn't
Am
need
I
that yet.
supposed to
Not
post
yet.
it?
Not yet. Soon.
Okay.
But I don't know why you're not getting my other thing. Okay. This is an interesting one. I'm gonna I want to go into the lyrics first. Do you have something else that you want to say?
No. Go ahead. Go into lyrics first, you brat.
So, okay, I liked the kind of journey that he was bringing us on. I felt like it was personal, and he was sharing something personal, even though, you're saying it's going with the Odyssey, which, I mean, it very well could be, but it also seemed very, like, something that a lot of us can relate to. So he says...
Well, I think the Odyssey is something all of us can relate to.
Well, I don't know anything about the Odyssey.
Timeless classic!
That's the thing. That's the problem that we're having here, is I don't know anything about the Odyssey. That was yet another thing we couldn't probably read as kids. Is there a reason my parents would have said no to that?
Well, it's Greek mythology.
Well, that's it. That's all there is. You're not having any... No Greek mythology.
But you love Shakespeare.
I never read any Shakespeare. I didn't know any Shakespeare.
Were you guys not allowed to read Shakespeare either?
I don't know. That I don't know.
Not a very good commercial for homeschooling. Our kids are great commercials for homeschooling, but you're not a very good.
Well, I mean, whatever. It's really true. We kind of fit into the stereotype. Oh no. Hold on, I'm pulling my lyrics back up. I lost them. My computer stopped responding. Okay. Needless to say, another day has passed. I loved this beginning part. Yet everything and nothing has changed.
Good line.
It is a good line.
It's a good line.
Awake I lie, my thoughts get lost up in the sky. Needless to say, nothing will change. Maybe a mystic with fortunes to tell. Surrender my coins at the old wishing well. Maybe the stars will align in the night to show me the path that is right. Would have beens and could have beens, they waste my days away. The colors of my life dissolve and fade to gray. Love all of that. I think because, like, all my life, I've sort of, especially as, like, a kid from probably the ages of 10 to 23, I wrestled with the concept of fate. Is your path chosen for you? Are you directed to it? Is there something, because I knew kind of what my religion was saying, but I felt like it was a little bit more mystical than how people were presenting it.
Yes.
And so it kind of kept me kind of like searching. What's up, Ben Webb? So I liked the way that he put this, because look, we weren't allowed to read your horoscope, none of that stuff. Good. And like once in a great while I like peeked at it, but I felt so much guilt I couldn't even read it.
You felt guilty for looking at the horoscope?
Yeah, because I flipped to that page, and for me
now,
it
why
was
would
like,
you do that?
Because I had questions, I wanted answers, and I didn't feel like I was getting satisfactory answers from anybody. And I felt like...
And you felt like the horoscope would give you the answers you needed?
No, I just felt like the answers were out there and I just didn't have them yet. And so, you know, I was pretty sure it wasn't the horoscope that was going to give me the answers I wanted.
Now, what questions were you asking?
I think it was a lot of things. And it was a lot of things that didn't actually get answered until you and I met. You know, like the deeper questions, and the deeper questions that should be asked and the deeper ones that should be answered, or even if we don't have answers for it, just to kind of grapple with it and wrestle with it. So, you know, like understanding like that in college they taught us that eternal life was to know God, but a lot of times it was just phrases that didn't feel like they had enough to them. Like there wasn't enough teaching behind the phrase to actually give you what you needed from the phrase. The phrase or like a quote works really good if you have an entire concept and you just need to be reminded. But right. It felt like they were teaching quotes instead of teaching actual solid like
and you felt
meaning.
Like this article from an astrologist in a newspaper is going to get me closer.
No, not necessarily. It was just, well, I felt like that truth or more of what I was searching for was being hidden, and that
Whoa.
it felt like it was
I've never heard you say that before.
semi-strategic. And so
Wow.
that's why I was more open to stuff. And even though, like, you know, when you came into my life, I still, like, outwardly, I fought against what you had to say, but inwardly, I was like, because you were bringing so many ideas that were different than the ways that I had been taught, and it was hard to kind of switch up on that. So when he said that, and especially like the would have beens and the could have beens, I think that that's another thing that as we get older, there are things that you can't change. Well, what if this? Or well, what if I would have said, I should have done this, I should have said that. And like living in that, he says they waste my days away. I think that we have to learn.
Were feeling in your Bible college, basically.
Not really, because I really hadn't done enough in life, I think, to even really give me that feeling. But I just was feeling more like I didn't belong anywhere that I was. And so it was just a lot of questions. So anyway, so this verse, I sent it to you.
I got it.
Oh, it's midnight in South Africa?
Shout out to the South Africans.
Okay, wait, did you already have that clipped, or did...
No, you just...
I sent it to you.
I saw it, and so I...
Oh, excellent.
I clipped it for you.
So this verse was, like, huge for me. And your ears shall hear a word behind you saying, this is the way, walk in it, when you turn to the right or when you turn to the left. And so, to me, it was like, okay, even if I start taking a left-hand turn or a right-hand turn, and I'm supposed to go straight on the path, I'm going to hear a voice that's going to direct me where I need to go. And so, I kind of felt like I was led to go to that cult college. And I never... The cultage. I felt like everywhere I went, I was led to go. But then I hit a point where you're dealing with the fallout of the places that you've been. And then you second guess whether or not you were really supposed to go there or not. But now, obviously, now that I'm a part of the channel and like the different people that I've met, like there's like mad people that have had like really bad experiences with either church or religion or, you know, being a part of a system, yeah, which is almost similar to a cult. So I think they are the same almost, you know, because I guess there could be good systems, but anyway, so yeah, that's kind of how I felt. So that verse kind of kept me steady, because I was like, well, regardless, if I'm just gonna try to head forward, and God's gonna have to direct me if I'm gonna go wrong. And that was like a cool verse for me. So even though like I've been through things that I'm like, wow, okay, if I would have known that, like for instance at college, like if I could go back, I would do things differently and I would say things differently and I would, you know, but you can't go back, but I can learn from it.
But it would have permanently altered how you got here today.
Oh, I know. And
you know what I'm saying? It would have altered your timeline.
It would have altered everything. And I wouldn't have felt like I wouldn't have been able to like understand what it is to be a part of something that you kind of know, like this is not really right, but at the same time you feel obligated to, I don't know, there was like a lot of complications with it. And
Group
so
dynamics,
understand
all that manipulation.
Yeah, there's just like lots of things. So then it kind of makes me say, okay, I'm more open to hearing other people's stories to say, yeah, I know that sounds crazy that you did X, Y, or Z thing, or that you stayed in this place that wasn't good, but I can understand where before that I didn't understand. Like if you're in a bad situation, get yourself out of it. But I didn't realize that ways that you spend your life learning certain things, and those things influence you regardless of if you realize it or not. Like some stuff we're just acclimated to the point where we don't even realize that is what, like there's a basis for why we make the decisions that we make, and some of those bases have to be they have to be questioned, but sometimes you don't even question them because you don't even realize. So I guess I have more sympathy for other people in that, and I'm more aware of it now for myself.
You know, I think that's why Homers Odyssey resonates with so many people.
Yeah.
It's because it's just really, it's a metaphor for the journey of life and dealing with things like fate and what's out of your control, what's in your control, that kind of thing. And, you know, when I look at people always say, "Oh, I wouldn't change a thing," and like, to me, at the direct level, a lot of times I'm like, "That's bullshit." You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
But at the same time, when I look at it from a meta perspective, like the events that lead up to things like the channel, for example.
Yeah.
The channel is such a major, massive part of our lives right now, and the people on the channel, and it's crazy because every year there's almost a different roster of people, which is really quite fascinating. Like we didn't run into Amy till I think like a year ago or whatever, but there's a whole different cast of characters every so often, and sometimes they stick around, sometimes they don't. You had Lilo, and then and then you had Ben, and Ben's been an OG.
Pony's probably like
Pony.
the one that's been. Pony and Becky have been like
Seduct.
way back, and then they pop up now and
the
again
Bible,
here.
the Bible Boogie crew.
Yeah.
Like there are all these little offshoots, and then some people like we've met in the physical world, and like it's just really,
Yeah.
it's fascinating the things that happen, and like the timing of certain things. Like there was a group I wanted to get out of for like a year, and I was like angling, trying to get out of it, couldn't get out of it. But if I'd have got out at the time when I wanted to, I don't think the channel would have happened. So there's just a lot of things where it's like, yeah, I mean, thank God.
Yeah, Neil's been with us for a while too.
And it's crazy because before we started the video, there's a guy who listened to something we said 3 years ago about God's timing with children, and now they're pregnant. You see what? So it's like, and we didn't know what the subject matter of the song was going to be about, fate and your life journey and all that, but like
That happened.
that's something for you if you think
Yeah.
that's a coincidence. Do what you want with that,
I
there,
think
listener.
not.
So yeah, it's been very fascinating to watch your evolution in so many different ways, on and off camera. And even with us, playing Fortnite and like taking that walk, and you're like, I'm glad I could tell you I'm annoyed with you now. Because you're not
It's
raised,
such a weird
you're
concept.
not
Yeah.
raised to tell your husband, you're annoying me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it took me a while, but I finally convinced you that if you told me that, not only would I tolerate it, but it would actually be good for our relationship if you said that. And you've been able to do it for the last couple of days, and look, we're everything is
Actually,
okay.
it's better. Things are better.
Oh,
It's weird, but
it's like Vincent knows what the hell he's talking. But
it's very weird.
But like, although I would have liked for that to happen at the beginning of our relationship, like it took time, and there's reasons
Yeah.
for it, and
Yeah.
we're gonna figure out more reasons for that shit in the next 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the last thing I'll say before I give my whatever about Homers Odyssey is very, very long, and I love that because it's, like I said, it's an analogy for life. And a lot of times you see people, and I always used to say to you, that is one chapter in that person's life. If you would have looked at Judas when he was hanging out with Jesus, Jesus was getting rocks thrown at him, and Judas was right there. Meanwhile, Nicodemus is such a coward that he won't see Jesus unless it's nighttime. So if you would have looked at Nicodemus in chapter 3, you'd have been like, oh, he's a coward, he's not really a believer. And if you would have looked at Judas in chapter 8, you would have said, oh man, he's true blue, he's willing to live and die with this dude. But then when you get to the end of the story, Nicodemus is the only one that stands up for Jesus in public against the religious authorities. And Judas, we all know what he did at the end of the story. So you just don't know. Like, that's why people are like, how, Ben is toxic, yada, yada, yada. Man, you're seeing one chapter. And I know this dude outside of what people see of him. Because we talk
Yeah,
almost.
I was going to say, you see another chapter.
Yeah, and he's got to be the most articulate, compassionate, and other things I'm not going to say on this forum. But you're only seeing snapshots.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I'll say is, that way you should have courage to be patient with yourself.
Yes.
Right?
Self-talk is really important.
You should be patient with yourself because you're only seeing a chapter in your life. So maybe there's a whole bunch of shit about yourself you don't like. Maybe there's shit in the mirror you don't like. Maybe there are people that mirror back to you things that you don't like, things you've said, things you've done. And it's like, one of the reasons, like, we had a situation, and a person was in the room, we had a family meeting, we have those, and they said, you said this, you did this to me, it was very un-Christ-like. And I said, yep, it was un-Christ-like, and I'm not sorry. And I'll...
Ben, he's some next level.
Huh?
That's
What?
some next level. That's like, I'm still like amazed.
I said it was un-Christ-like for sure. And
but I'm not sorry for it.
I said I'm not sorry for it, and I'll leave myself to the divine court, and God will handle me if it, or whatever. But but the reason I could do that is because I know that that's where I'm at right now. That's a chapter. In my
very
life.
honest.
I'm not going to bullshit God, and I'm not going to bullshit other people. Like, this is where I am, but I'm not going to kill myself over it, because it's like, this is a chapter in my life. Maybe next chapter I'll be very repentant, and I'll write that person a 15-page letter about feeling bad about it. I don't see it happening, but who knows?
Right.
But it's just a chapter in my life. You see what I'm saying? And so when you take that perspective, dear listener, we're all on an odyssey. If you're discouraged, it's just a chapter in your life. And if you're doing awesome right now, be humble, because it's just a chapter in your life.
Right.
All right, rate the song.
Wait, one more thing. So the next verse said, a haunting vision torments me. It smothers and steals my dreams. I see an old man in the mirror, cold and bitter, staring back at me. Okay, so like when I was like a teenager and stuff, you're around like all those grumpy old adults. You're like, what happened? And why would you let yourself get like this? Put that other thing I sent you.
Oh.
Oh, I saw this. I thought it was great. So let's not become like that. And if you're like that, start working on it. I really enjoyed it. 8 point.
Hey, Jay's in the house.
Shoot.
8.5 for me.
8.9. 8.9.
8.5 for me. We got another song coming here. Actually,
Okay, you guys, part 2 of the Dream
have
Theater.
El Conclusion of what's the name of the song?
It's in the presence of enemies.
Of enemies. Part 2 is coming up from the band Dream Theater. So that should be very, very, very interesting. We got DJ AT in the house.
France, you like that?
We got Janelle. We got Janelle from freaking South Africa in the house.
I know, that's crazy.
We're multinational in this bitch.
What?
Big out.
Sorry, out.
Gone.